How are you doing? Are you fine? Good. Let's go to our August 30th class. But before we start the class, don't forget to like our video, leave your comments after the class, of course, but if you want, you can leave it now too. And subscribe to our channel, activate the notifications so you don't miss any videos, alright? I'm gonna give you some moments to do this. I'm waiting. Alright. Now we can talk about our text. This text is about Mary Shelley. Have you ever heard about her? Do you know who was Mary Shelley? Mary Shelley, who was born on August 30th, 1797 in London, was a writer, okay? And in 1818, she published her most famous novel, Frankenstein. She wrote it while she was still a teenager, living with her stepsister and her soon-to-be husband in Switzerland. The novel was inspired by a nightmare that she had, and it's about Dr. Frankenstein, not the monster. Alright? Because here we tend to think about, when we talk about Frankenstein, we start to think about the monster. But the monster is named the Monster of Frankenstein, or the Frankenstein monster. Okay? Frankenstein is the doctor. So let's see some verbs from the text. We have the verbs to be, to marry, to publish, to write, to die, to go, to suggest, to try, to become, and to inspire. Good? Now we can talk about home practice. Home practice starts on page 552, and on the first exercise, you had to complete the sentences using the relative pronouns where, which, that, who, or whose. So number 1, an airplane is a machine that flies. Number 2, the people who work in the house are very friendly. 3, a salesman is a man who works in a shop. 4, they live in a house which windows are broken. 5, my wife's mother, who I haven't seen for several years, speaks too much. And 6, I don't like the town where you work. 7, he's the only American who has swum. 8, my wife, who lives in New York, has just written me a letter. Number 9, the girl who lives next door is very boring. 10, this is the lady whose husband died last year. 11, the man whose father is a professor forgot his umbrella. 12, the children who shouted in the street are not from our school. 13, the car whose driver is a young man is from Ireland. 14, what did you do with the money that your mother lent you? 15, I talked to the girl whose car had broken down in front of the shop. 16, Mr. Tony, who is a taxi driver, lives on the corner. 17, I live in a house in Norwich, which is in East Anglia. 18, this is the girl who comes from Spain. 19, that is Joe, the boy who has just arrived at the airport. 20, thank you very much for your email, which was very interesting. After that, seniors and masters had to summarize the text using relative pronouns. So, for example, the text is about Mary Shelley, the writer who wrote Frankenstein. The book, which is about the doctor, not the monster, was released in 1818. The monster that is on the book is very different from the one we know from other movies and stories. In the novel, it is said that it had long hair, yellow translucent skins, glowing eyes, and black lips. Okay? So let's go to our review. This class is about relative pronouns. Before we talk about the relative pronouns, let's remember what are pronouns. A pronoun is a word that substitutes a noun. A relative pronoun is used when I need to substitute a noun to avoid a repetition, when I am connecting two different ideas about the same noun. If I wanna talk about people, I'm gonna use the relative pronoun who. For example, George Orwell, who wrote 1984, also wrote Animal Farm. The second relative pronoun we're going to talk about is which. Which is used when I want to connect ideas, when I want to mention a sentence about ideas, objects, things, etc. So, for example, the TV series The Handmaid's Tale is based on a book which was written by Margaret Atwood. Another relative pronoun that I can use is whose, that is used to talk about possession. For example, Neil Gaiman, whose most famous character is the Sandman, is the writer of many other books, such as Stardust, Neverwhere, and American Gods. I can also use the relative pronoun where, that is used to talk about places. For example, on the book Call Me By Your Name, Elio meets Oliver in his family's house in Italy, where Oliver goes to spend the summer studying. And the last one we're going to talk about today is when, that is used to connect ideas about one time, one moment. For example, Arthur C. Clarke wrote Childhood's End in 1953, when he was still living in England. Alright? Now guys, after these explanations, you were able to watch your live classes, and don't forget to, after that, to do the class practice exercises. And also, if you hadn't done yet, like our video, leave your comments, and subscribe to our channel. Alright? So, thank you so much, have a great day, and see you next class. Bye bye guys!